And they're so empty-hearted, you know. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But it's all for lip service to make people feel satiated with what's going on. But really, we should be up in arms. If there wasn't any pandemic, you know, I believe more people would be on board with the office than
No, I signed this 2 years ago. They still haven't gotten it out.
Well, the 2 previous ones failed because they didn't get the signature required.
Okay, well, then that's tonight.
Absolutely, yes. All right. Thank you.
That was back when it first started.
Oh, wow.
So every time they come up and have it, oh, I thought everything. The same thing.
Well, if you haven't signed since December, like I said, this is the newest one.
Oh. I'm all for it.
I'm a libertarian, sir. Doesn't matter about the president. I'm talking about Gavin Newsom, the governor of the state. Don't care about the president. I don't like any president. I don't like Trump. I don't like Bush. I don't like Obama. I don't like Clinton. I don't like none of the presidents. I'm a libertarian. I voted for Jo Jorgensen, the only woman that was on the ballot in all 50 states. Did you even hear about her?
No, but what do you think about the new vice president?
I don't give a damn about none of the presidents right
No,
now.
vice president.
I don't give a damn about her either. She's awful. Do you know what she did to the people of the state of California as senator or attorney general? She put more black and brown people in jail than any other politician. For the same laws that don't apply to her. The marijuana laws, War Act that she's passing right now through Congress is actually Prop 64, the same bill in the state of California, which has actually cornered the cannabis market for big business. So regular farmers, the regular average person, will still be criminalized for that same type of possession.
I got a shot. Come here, okay?
All right.
Hey.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed.
Just the one for Newsom.
You got it. Okay, here it is. And I would hope so. You can print your first and last name in the first box, sign here, and then register the voter address underneath. If lending and borrowing, then we're never going to be able to get out of debt. Hello there. Sign a petition to recall Newsom. Would you like a flyer to find out why? All right. Hello, sir. Recall Newsom. Yeah, then you get people that they don't want to be informed because they have this conception that I like the guy for whatever reason, and they don't want to read anything or find out material that can disprove that. You know, it's like being told Santa Claus don't exist.
I've
like, no, I believe.
I've noticed a strong reaction.
They get angry about it.
Thoughts, feelings on the you ask people if they'd like to even look into this idea, and they go, no.
Right. Would you like to at least find out why we're demanding a recall? No, don't care. Hello, sign a petition to recall Newsom.
I don't have the time to do it, but I think we do need a recall.
All right, I got the go petition, so when you come out, grab one.
Call another person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be as ignorant as you are.
You have to be
Look at where you are.
You have to be ignorant to call somebody ignorant.
You are ignorant.
And you
indeed.
ought to know who you talking
Because
to when you call somebody
I don't care who you are. You're walking past me, screaming at me, and you're not trying to talk to me at all. You're not trying to have a civil conversation. Are you trying to have a civil conversation? I don't need a mask because I don't want to wear a mask. I did, because you're yelling at me and you're screaming at me and you're not trying to listen to me. I don't care who you are, man. You don't know who you talking to.
I'm not holding your ass and walk this drive.
Do it.
You motherfucker, I don't know who you think you talking to.
Get your ass out of my face then. Keep walking. Go about your day. I don't need to, because I'm gonna move right here and I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do and get these signatures to get the damn governor out of office.
He ain't going nowhere.
He is. Guess what? He's gonna be out of there in March.
Motherfucker like you need to be lynched.
No, motherfuckers like you need to be lynched.
You're a danger to the black race.
Motherfucker, what?
You're a danger.
I'm a danger to the black race. You are, you ignorant ass nigga wearing that damn Obama hat. I'm gonna call you whatever I want because you in my damn face. I'm a grown ass man. You get out my damn face and you come around here, man, you gonna get hurt. Get out my face then and go home and go about your way. Get out my damn face. Like I said, man, I'm a grown man. Do not step up on me like that. Then get out my damn face and stop disrespecting me. Like I said, man, you the one yelling at me. Get out my face. Get out my face, man. Get out my face. Get out my face. Exactly, thank you. I'm gonna call you whatever I want, especially when you saying here, I should be lynched. I should be lynched.
Let the police come and I tell police that this son of a bitch called me a nigga, man.
And I call you in over and over, especially if you don't stay in here talking about I need to be lynched. Fuck you.
Fuck you, man.
No, get your gay ass out of here, man. I got a wife, and she don't want to hear that.
But she don't hate you too.
Well, I'm sure your wife hates you.
Yeah, she do.
And that's why you're not married anymore.
Yeah, you
So
don't
get out my damn face and get the
you.
fuck out of here. Fuck you.
Let me get out of your face.
Like I said, man, ain't nobody forcing you to be here right now. You have the freedom to walk
I was
away.
going. You the one calling.
Yo, you were the one screaming and shit.
I never talked about your name.
You were screaming and shit at me, calling me everything out of the
Oh,
book.
man, fuck you.
Fuck you. And I'll keep saying it back. You keep saying it to me. What do you expect? You think you can just disrespect me and get away with it? I don't give a damn. And quit using the word fuck.
Your wife won't see you
Homo
no more.
ass.
Your wife won't
Get
see
out
you
of
no
here.
more. Your wife won't see you no more.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen. Come over there. Make me pay. I'm right here. Make me pay right now. Education systems that are so we want to keep those tax dollars here.
I got romance and
What's that?
yeah.
Yeah, they give themselves loans, but don't care about us. It's just a research, so pretty much starts with research. For every dollar that we borrow from the federal government, we give them back to you. That's why you have healthcare systems, education systems in the United States that are all well funded and here in California. So this again is to explore keeping that money here in the state, that we can take care of how we here in the state first.
Okay.
All right. In terms of the solutions,
Yeah, that's how you go. That's the, I was gonna say something else, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, we got to start first with what's going on here in our state. So, truly do appreciate you supporting our efforts to get him out of office. Hey, you can put your city or zip code in there also. Thank you so much, man. God bless you. Have a great day. I appreciate it. And you're a Fresno County, right? Where's your first and last name? Thank you so much. You know, the number of cases in their state is going down. So if they're fully open and their cases, the number of cases is going down, what's the point of being on lockdown? Yeah. And we also have a petition to research California becoming a country so we can keep our taxes here in the state and off from the federal government. Right now, for every dollar we borrow from the federal government, we loan them two. That's
They lockdown starts tomorrow.
I know other
You
countries
know what the
are
price is in comparison on an outdoor market?
Right.
Not.
I just had that. I'll make you that. I can do that. I make you up to the radio.
Have you said any competition?
I'm on a break right now. I just have to
Yeah, other counties have already started. Yeah, when me and Marcus went to LA, they had a few lines outside of Walmart's.
Hey guys, have you signed the recall yet?
Yeah. All right, thank you. And it does help and hurt. A lot of people are frustrated because they're in line and they just want to get in the store already. But then you have other people that just see it as even more of an inconvenience and make them want to sign even more. Exactly. Yeah. I saw a line in Bed Bath & Beyond at River Park, but you know some of the smaller businesses are yeah. I know the Starbucks in
Have you signed the recall? Griffin County? Griffin County. Yeah, you gotta have your own.
yeah, I know the company's already taking this arguments also, you know, it's like it's pretty much just bottom of the That's the reason why you'd like to get him out of office. Cars have been completely during this pandemic. Yeah, that's what they say. Oh, no. You're right, please. You can take my notes. I don't want No, you
I haven't signed nothing. I love to sign.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You're the president.
Oh, I like that attitude.
We also have flyers to inform others in the community about the recall. They are speaking about it much in the news, so this
Nixon's here, Gavin Newsom. He's gonna run against him.
yes, please consider voting Wildstar for governor, okay?
Thank you.
Welcome to the team. That's why you have educational systems, healthcare systems, and other states that are more well funded and very accountable. This again focuses on keeping that money here in our state. So if you'd like to sign up, be welcome to.
Hey guys.
Another state, Nebraska, because again, we're spending more money on the states. Yeah.
Legos? No, I have a boy. He'll always want Legos. What do you like?
They're not really that too much of a stick. They want this area clear. What's most important is that we don't.
How old are you? 3?
Oh my goodness.
What were you looking at there, Governor?
An exchange I was having with a very irate Gavin Newsom supporter. He was upset that I was out there collecting signatures to recall him and assumed that I was a Trump supporter and that that I was a racist and I don't know what else he assumed, but he was just yelling at me the entire time. When he went into the store, when he came out of the store, he was just yelling at me. And yeah, when he started talking about you're a Trump supporter, and I was trying to tell him, no, I'm not. And he was like, you're just a stupid ass nigga, you know, drop the N-bomb on me. And I was like, you know, that's where you don't go to insult me. You know, I'm still going to be a man that is going to stand up for myself. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be disrespected by anyone, whether you're black, white, or any shade of brown in between. But yeah, it became this verbal exchange between me and this man where he started threatening me and even said, you know, you're the type of N that needs to be hanged. And yeah, it didn't become violent, thankfully, even though it seemed like it was threatening to be. But thankfully, things did not go that far. And we're here to talk about it, you know, but.
You have the whole thing on video, if I'm not mistaken. I was thinking it was about a 3-minute long encounter.
Yes.
Captured live.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the one of the people that worked at that store came out to assist you.
Yeah.
Against him.
Yeah, because there was a Walmart employee that was standing back, and she heard everything as she was walking up, and she came to my side and she said, "Sir, can you just, stop yelling at him and leave?" And he said, "Well, he called me a nigga or whatever." And I said, "Well, the guy threatened to hang me, and said I needed to be lynched." So after hearing everything, like I said, upon her walking up to diffuse the matter, she again sided with me to try to usher the guy away because he was there voluntarily. I was there providing a service to the community by, attempting to gather these signatures for this petition. So, and I was welcomed by Walmart to be there. I spoke with management, so I had permission to be there. And of course, so are their customers. But if you're creating a distraction, and a disturbance, then I guess that's when they have to get involved. And thankfully, when she came over, she was letting the guy know, you don't have to be here anymore. If you're done shopping, just go about your way. And since he was still being insistent on staying and yelling at me, she threatened him with calling the police, and he was like, "I don't care if you end up calling the police, I'll be here." And I'm like, "I'm here too." So, But he ended up leaving before the police got there. And thankfully the police didn't come out at all, but everything went smoothly, thankfully, after that. But I'll put the video up soon and people can decide for themselves.
So you were at a Walmart. You were with the petitioning. You had gotten permission from Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
You were at the spot that you had permission with Walmart. And all you were saying was, recall Newsom, a couple taglines. Is that roughly correct?
Yeah, I greet every person that passes me the same. Recall Gavin Newsom. I got a big sign. It's 3 foot by 6 foot sign or whatever, saying recall Gavin Newsom. And so, of course, just looking over at me, you can see what I'm doing. But just the general greeting, I'll say, "Hi, recall Gavin Newsom today. Let's get him out of office now." And either people will be receptive of that or they'll see it and be upset by it, in which case this guy decided to be more vocal about it, more aggressive about his response than any other person, because I've spoken to other Gavin Newsom supporters before and was even able to convince some of them to even sign the petition. But there are those that are loyal to him and the Democratic Party, no matter who the candidate may be. But they'll say certain things to me and, heckle me or whatever the case, but they keep it moving. This guy decided to be confrontational, and like I said, I'm definitely not going to back down from anyone.
But you didn't start it, and you didn't say anything to him other than, "Recall Newsom, would you like to sign the petition?" or something. You didn't make some special effort to single him out or say anything. He initiated. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And nor was I wanting to engage with him in any type of argument. He just kept yelling at me. And it wasn't until, excuse me, eating my fruits and vegetables here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he decided to start it to be insulting where I demanded to not be disrespected. And that's when the confrontation, blew out of proportion.
Now, I don't want to do a lot of drama because I think drama is roughly negative. But this was not completely isolated. At least it perhaps isn't. You were talking about other people who were African American and were displeased by your joining of the Libertarian Party. I told you about I had run into some, not all, not the majority, not even half, Black Lives Matter activists who said, this guy's a libertarian. And the story was framed to me is, and I'm wondering if the man that we have video of interacting with you is coming under the same belief. You're a libertarian. That means secretly.
He didn't even know I was a libertarian. He just assumed I was a Republican.
Right.
You're
conservative. You're against. You want to recall Newsom. You must love Donald Trump and support white supremacy. Is that basically what's going on here?
That's being the general perception, and it's of course manufactured by the media machine and those people that are ill-informed. I mean, libertarians are looked at as being like Republican light, and that could be the furthest from what it is, because there's a lot about libertarianism that is distinctive. You know, libertarians support minimizing government, eliminating taxes, ending, occupational wars, and generally just not engaging in conflict to where you're forcing an individual to abide by a policy or a idea. I mean, if it's good enough for people to be enticed to get involved voluntarily, then the threat of violence by the barrel of a gun or, having their property be seized shouldn't be necessary. But we've gotten it so conditioned to believing that that's the way government should be that we allow it, not only by the Democrats, but by the Republicans as well. So it definitely is a place for those people that are sick of the two-party system to at least find some balance politically. I like to think of it as like the happy medium when it comes to libertarian philosophy, which mainly revolves around the non-aggression principle. Treat others how you want to be treated, the golden rule to life that we all are aware of and respond to naturally. So if anything, it respects the natural rights of who we are as individuals and focuses on that as more so, where our policies should be stemming from. And I started out as a Democrat, straight out of high school. I voted Democrat. I voted for Al Gore. I voted for Barack Obama, in his first election. And I didn't vote for him the second time around. And that's because he campaigned on the message of wanting to get Wall Street out of politics, but didn't see that happen. As soon as he took office, he bailed out the banks. He took money from Goldman Sachs and some of the larger investors all over the country, all over the world. So why would anyone like that have in my best interests at heart when they've proven themselves to be, bought and sold by the person who could afford them, and that's not the American taxpayer. So that's when I started to look into different political parties, whether it be Republican or independent. None of the Republicans were attractive back then, and so I started to stumble upon third-party candidates like Ron Paul. And once I learned that he had ran against Obama for president, I kind of dug into what he represented because he ran as the libertarian candidate then. But when he ran as a Republican in 2012 against Obama's second term, that's when I really started to get involved in politics. And mainly because I wanted to help him win and become the next president. So he reeled me in with, wanting to end wars all over the world and close down the hundreds of bases, military bases we have all over the world, and bring our soldiers home like these politicians keep proposing to do, but yet takes months and years even for that to happen. Get our troops out of Afghanistan, bring them home to protect our borders here in America. And put me on game with the Federal Reserve. Didn't even know what the hell the Federal Reserve was, and I was just financially illiterate, like most people, not knowing where money comes from in our country, how it's created, what's its purpose. We just receive it and we use it, and we think of it as a tool
but we don't know where that tool came from. You know, who created that tool? And instead of focusing on the value of money, I wanted to look at the root of the money and where it came from. And started realizing that's why the cost of certain goods ended up going up instead of down, you know, just seeing prices inflate left and right. During my short life, feel like one of the baby boomers. You know, I remember when a bag of chips was 10 cents, you know, I remember when they were a quarter, and now you go to the grocery store and those same bags of chips are $1. It's like, what happened, you know? So yeah, it's definitely things that we, the people, should pay more attention to. Unfortunately, we don't, due to party loyalism. And I will always be an independent thinker, and I think that's what made me stray away from the Democratic Party altogether, was because even though Obama was a black man and, you know, campaigned on all of these promises of outfitting government to better fit the people, we haven't seen that at all. If anything, it's even more far off track now than it ever was before.
So you actually, honestly, really believe in libertarian principles?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
You are not a closet white supremacist who's part of a secret plot in order to trick other minorities into backing pro-liberty, low taxes, and low regulations. You can actually believe in libertarianism, and it doesn't mean you want to be a Trump supporter.
Exactly. It's possible. And it's sad that a lot of people don't think that if you are against Democrats, you're automatically a Republican. And because of what Trump and his supporters have done to shape the image of the Republican Party, they're now seen as, you know, white nationalists, white enthusiasts, white supremacists, and sexist, bigotry, and everything foul. But if anything, there is still people out there that disagree with the Democratic Party's policies and don't fall under that category at all, you know? So if anything, me running as a Republican for governor is an attempt to reimagine the Republican Party as it once was and get it back to its true roots of being abolitionists. You know, Abraham Lincoln was an abolitionist. You know, he wanted to get rid of slavery. So if we talk about what government is now, it's pretty much promoting policies that continue to enslave us to the dollar. And if we are in any type of enslavement, then we are not free people.
So, again, you actually believe in low taxes and low regulation, and you think that that's good, and you also think the Democratic Party occasionally doesn't do what they said, and you have this wild idea that even if you like a politician, and even if he has made a lot of progress, it's okay to hold that politician to account for what they didn't do, even if their name is Barack Obama.
Right.
And that's all you're saying. Is that a fair summary?
We got to be. If we're not doing that and making sure that our elected officials are being held responsible, then what's the point of it at all? We have no system of checks and balances. We pretty much would be advocating for it simply out of tribalism. You know, it isn't like a sports team. I'm not going to root for my team, even though they lose, even though they cheat to win, you know, and are not the best representatives of what team spirit looks like. You know, when they care about themselves, they're self-centered individuals, and if that proves to be their intentions, then why would I continue to root for them? Why would I continue to support them, whether it be, you know, financially or through principles? And one principle that I will not compromise on is me being able to afford my life, my livelihood. You know, I should be able to go out there and earn a living, and there shouldn't be a glass ceiling over my head. If you tell me sky's the limit, I'm gonna aim for it. And I think that's what the American spirit really stems from, you know, and originates, is that go-getter attitude. You being able to create the type of livelihood that you want, you know, whether it's being able to afford a mansion, or, you know, a 2-story house. If that's what your desire is, then you shouldn't be crippled from obtaining that in any way, shape, or form. So when it comes to monetary policy, if you're continuing to inflate the dollar by borrowing, you know, from the Federal Reserve and adding to the national debt by billions and trillions of dollars, that's not going to make my buying power any stronger. So if I see that from you, then there isn't any reason for me to affiliate with you at all. And that right now is what the Democratic Party represents, especially with them wanting to borrow more money, if not take more money from we the people to fund these socialist programs, you know. So it definitely can happen. We shouldn't support it in any way.
And that brings me to the last question. The gentleman
Got
in
a
the
hole
video,
in my lip.
Oh, sorry. the gentleman in the video suggested something that I when I was in Bakersfield and I met some, not all, not even half of the BLM activists. And the gentleman in the video says, Trump, Trump, Trump. You didn't say anything about Trump. You said recall Gavin Newsom.
Exactly.
And the platform literature was libertarianism, but he immediately went to Trump, Trump, Trump. He had an Obama hat on. And some of the argument appeared to be, you're saying, I never backed Trump. I never voted for him. I never even said it like the guy. In fact, I don't. I've been saying that.
Right.
And I was also the guy who said, hey, recall. Don't ally yourself or make it too easy for the Trump supporters to be here, because this is a grassroots, wide spectrum issue, and you're going to make it about something that not everybody's for.
Right.
And here this guy immediately assumes you say something conservative, you must actually love Trump and love what he is. And I heard some of the Bakersfield BLM people say, well, if he's libertarian, and I go, well, what does that mean? Oh, well, then that means he's Republican. Okay. Oh, well, then that means he must love Trump. So if you're a libertarian, you must love Donald Trump and you must love racism. We've seen at least 2 different people say this. What is going on here? Why do people think this? How did they get to think this? I have never seen anything from you other than a repudiation of Trump and a love of low taxes and low regulation, and yet it seems people are convinced you must like Trump because you said something conservative about keeping government accountable.
Right.
What's going on here?
Well, it's a narrative being controlled by the powers that be. As I said before, the mainstream media, you know, it's the machine, controls people's minds, and it unfortunately prevents them from thinking for themselves. When they think that they have everything figured out, they haven't done the research. They've just taken the TV's word for value. So everything that the media pumps out has to do with Republican, Democrat, right, left, conservative, liberal. They don't talk about the people in between. They don't talk about the fiscal conservatives. They don't talk about the people that support guns and marijuana and freedom of choice and freedom of sexual, orientation or whatever the case may be. Because those people do exist. And those are mainly the no party preference voters or the independent voters that they talk about during election cycles. So you rarely hear about libertarians or their candidates. You know, I was trying to tell the guy, I'm a libertarian. I voted for the libertarian candidate for president, Joe Jorgensen. You know, you may not have heard of her because the machine doesn't want to talk about it, you know, and I often have to say that to a lot of people that walk up to me, assuming that because I'm out there supporting the recall, that I must have voted for Trump. Even Republicans come up to me and say, "Yeah, you voted for Trump, right?" No, I didn't. I voted for the candidate that aligned most with my principles and desires for government. So that's why I voted for her. And when I tell them that, they even say, "Well, who is Joe Jorgensen?" And now I've struck a chord with them and piqued their curiosity where now they are going to go and want to find out more. Or I can, try to explain more to them then and there, but at least now the light bulb has went off in their heads. So people need to know there are other options. There are other political parties. They do exist. But it's a matter of the party actually getting mobilized, getting involved in the community, and let them know that they do exist.